Welcome back. You're still watching your best breakfast show on the land right here, Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, right about now, we're about to have a very interesting conversation with a very pretty lady. I mean, I couldn't stop staring. She goes by the name Juliet Uzoma. Now, she is an ex-Nollywood actress and very importantly, a breast cancer survivor. I have her book in my hand right now. It is titled Flowers of Courage. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Well, thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
As I said, so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so first off, I'd like to go into this, but then again, I noticed that in there, we had ex-Nollywood actress. Why ex-Nollywood actress?
Well,
is that because it seems quite intentional that the ex-Nollywood actress is there? Why?
Well, I used to be in the Nollywood entertainment industry, and before I moved over to the United States, and pretty much still did produced quite a little bit, but haven't really, performed in a long time.
But I feel once an actress, always an actress.
Always an actress, yes.
Always an actress. So you can take that away. But yeah, of course, welcome. And today we're about to delve into this book, and I definitely cannot wait. And okay, so now Flowers of Courage. And before the conversation, I asked the question, the topic you pick, because I know a lot of people write books, right? Some people name their books even way before they even write the book. Some people literally, after they're done, they're thinking, what's the best title? So how did you come about the title Flowers of Courage?
Well, Flowers of Courage is basically the breadcrumbs of my journey as a cancer survivor. And in order for me to write a story, I'm also looking to hold the hands of every woman who has gone through the pain and the triumph. So you give everybody their flowers, my flowers and their flowers as well.
Of course, I think it's really amazing, but also I think it's actually a very strong title, because it's like when you think of courage, you think of strength. When you think of flowers, you think of something very delicate, or something very soft. Exactly. So for me, I'm thinking about it I'm interpreting it in a very artistic way. Anyways, so something I love about the book, once it was handed to me, the first thing I do, of course, I go through the content. And I love how from the content page, you can actually almost tell what the book is going to feel like, right? We're talking about there's a chapter here with your parents and how it literally seems, reading this, I could literally imagine and think about what your parents literally were like. So let's talk about that particular chapter. We're talking about the legacy of resilience and integrity, amongst other things. So tell me, where love begins. What was the relationship with your parents? And what role would you say they played in this journey?
Well, my parents were 6 in number. So my parents literally raised us with the fear of, being humble, humility, and also honesty. So, and also the courage to just thrive and not to be afraid of anything. So I lost my father at the age of 7. So I had just my mother raising 6 kids. And with that courage to have raised 6 children, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Sometimes I find myself asking my mom, why 6?
Why 6? Okay.
So,
what was her response usually?
She would say, you wouldn't have been here.
Okay.
So it's actually, amazing to have been, raised in a household like with my parents who were very determined.
Yes, of course, and of course full of integrity as well. So now, of course, the book is very important to talk about today, but I think more important is the story and the journey, of surviving cancer. So I'd like to know, if you don't mind sharing, when you found out, right, that, you were literally about to go through this journey, like when you actually found out you actually did have cancer, what was it like for you? And what led you to that place? Because that's a very important conversation we need to have so people are aware, like women are actually aware of this thing. So how did that come about?
When I got diagnosed, I think I had just given birth to my youngest daughter, who I, basically breastfed for a whole year because I did the full term with my kids. So I noticed a lump, during, workouts and all those. And at first I didn't understand. So I met with my doctor, and the first thing she said was, oh, that's an after breast milk kind of, situation. So, but then you have that voice at the back of your head saying,
that tells you,
check it out, it might not be. So I did go back again. I said, I just don't feel that this is an after breast milk. So we literally had to do an MRI, to kind of do a further investigation, and from there, biopsy. That's when they noticed that it was cancerous. How did I feel
like?
Oh Lord, I was angry.
You're angry, okay.
I was angry at God. I was, it was immediately, you immediately plan your death in your head, because as an African woman, cancer is like a death sentence. So it was a death sentence to me at the time. So you have to go through the process of grief, then acceptance, then you start healing. So I think that those were the processes I went through.
Okay. So I mean, from that point of anger, now you're thinking, okay, fine, why is this happening to me, right? What did I do wrong?
Yes.
So now, what was your next thing? So I hear a lot of times, sometimes when people are diagnosed with cancer, some people literally just give up, right? They're like, okay, as you said, as an African woman, you have this, and then even in the world, on a global scale, they're still trying to find the cure for it. Now in Africa, what do we do? So now, what was your reaction to that, or will I say response to that?
Well, my thing was, my daughters, they gave me strength. They were a reason for me to fight. It was easy to just give up, but then who's going to raise them and love them as much as I could have? So I had a reason to fight. And then, but I was fortunate enough to have been diagnosed in the United States, where the medical facilities were there for me. And I had great medical professionals to, walk me through the journey.
All right, amazing. So now let's talk about, going through all of that right now, whispering shadows, the unspoken battles. Now, what would you say were the biggest things you had to deal with in that time? When it came to the challenges of going through all of that, would you say it was the physicality of it, the mental, the stress that puts in the mind and all of that, or relationships with family?
I think it was a combination of both. Okay. For a woman, having to lose your breast, it's like literally losing a crown, so to say. So I had to go through that struggle. Of what do I do? Do I just leave it? Do I just, why would I lose a good part of my life? So it was quite a struggle for me at the time. Then, of course, I went through the process of surgery, reconstruction. But, it was a struggle.
Yeah, what was it? I don't know. The surgery, what was that like?
Well, because of the stage of my cancer, which was a stage 3C, one of the first things they did after the lumpectomy, the test, was to start chemotherapy right away.
And I usually hear that that's really, really a very tough process to go undergo.
Well, yeah,
the hair loss and all of that.
Yeah, because chemotherapy is more like poison, designed to attack the cancer cell,
yes.
But it affects other cells as well. So, of course, it affects your hair. I started losing I literally lost my hair.
Wow.
But then I also went through clinical trials, because I was in a facility where they had a lot of medical trials and clinical trials. So I volunteered to be a guinea pig, so to say, because I wanted to understand why at the age, I was 34 when I was diagnosed, why that young?
Yeah.
And so I went through chemo brain. Through that process, I lost my memory. I had a hard time remembering my kids, so it was very...
It was a tough time. So, the hard time remembering your kids, so how did you say you walked yourself back from all of that? From hair loss, now memory loss, and every other loss you actually went through during that period. How would you say it was like coming back?
Well, I was fortunate to have my mother, who flew from Nigeria to the United States to be with me. So it was, that family support did help. Friends, I had family support, and I had, I had a process of going through therapy to kind of help me break through that pain, because during that period, of course, you're dealing with anger.
Yeah.
You have so much bottled in, so much anger in you, and but I was lucky to have a therapist who took her time, gave me my time to go through the process and be able to speak about it. So
So you actually did have full round support. And
Yes,
all
I
of
did.
that. Okay, amazing. So I think something that's very interesting is, I mean, some people go through the processes like this and then they don't want to talk about it. They just want to be quiet about it. They believe, okay, you know what, this is a sacred moment. Some people believe this is sacred. Some people believe, okay, you know what, no, I'm not going to put it out there that I went through this because you know what, no. Do you understand? And then, but then again, you decided to come out about it, talk freely about it, write a book about it. Why? Why did you decide to do that?
When it first happened, of course, my mom wanted me to be quiet.
Yeah.
She said, "Don't talk
Our
about
parents
it." You
always
know,
want
the
us to be quiet.
shame.
Yes,
you know,
the shame, the
stigma.
stigma.
The stigma tied around it. So, but for me, I felt, you know, I'm already going through this, and I'm sure millions of other women and men are going through it. So I felt like, you know, I needed to share my story. I needed to talk about it. I wasn't shy about going through the treatment, but I didn't just wake up and, you know, had this courage. And I had a lot of women before me who had done that. I remember watching Robin Roberts from Good Morning America when she first, you know, took the wig off. I said, oh, I can do this. So, you know, you have people who have encouraged you directly or indirectly to be bold. And, you know, and I understood that speaking about it is also a healing process too. So.
Because, yeah, of course, because in the end of the day, that's what therapy actually is, right? But I mean, you're speaking to a professional, which is who's helping guide you. But then again, I feel another type of healing comes from sharing your story to people who may be going through that actually need your help now to get through and get past that.
Yes.
Okay, so now thinking back, now looking back retrospectively, you went through that, you actually thought at a point it was a death sentence, but then again, you actually were able to come out of that. What did that do for you? I mean, it's cancer. Yeah.
You know, you see, as an African woman, precisely Nigerian woman, when you hear, like I said, you hear the word cancer, you immediately think it's death. Then you like assume this shame that you know, what people would think. You're literally thinking for everybody else in the world.
Yes, yes.
So I was fortunate enough to have an organization, Nurses Affecting Change. They were supportive enough to like fund my treatment because you know the treatment for cancer is very expensive.
Yes, very expensive.
So, but they rallied around. Was you know, a group of African American women who were, you know, out there to help a lot of Black women, African women around the world. So I was lucky enough to be part of that team. And right after that, I think my healing process started when I started giving back into the community. I became an advocate, holding another woman, another man going through it, and it was quite healing for me.
For you, amazing. I think, I mean, you're very strong, and I want to say congratulations because
Thank
I mean,
you.
that is definitely one experience that I mean, will live with you for the rest of your life, of course. But then again, one, you can also pull a lot out of strength, and even for other people and for yourselves as well. So congratulations, and thank you so much for coming to share with us.
Well, thank
Sadly,
you.
it's a live show. We don't have so much time. But then again, all of the journeys in this book, right? You definitely can read it. You need to get one. There's Flowers of Courage, The Journey Through Breast Cancer from Weakness to Power, of course, by Juliet Ifeanyiwa Nkeruka Uzoma. Ooh, I love the fact that you said I got it right, so I had to say it again. Thank you so much for being here with us. It was amazing talking to you, and I love how soft and delicate you are.
Thank you.
All right, okay, all the very best. Guys, get this book. You need it, cancer or not, all right? Okay, on that note, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, there's still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria.